Who's ready for another story? Apparently this one's extra juicy. Shall we begin? Okay, so we PCS'd to Hawaii about 2 years ago. We moved into base housing and moved into a town duplex next to this couple who was about 8 years older than us. We were 23 and they are 30, 31. When we first got here to our neighborhood, I'll call her Sam, was kind of normal. She had a job that she attended regularly and had her own life. Things started to get weird when we became friends on Facebook. We noticed that she was posting all kinds of weird and crazy things about her depression and anxiety and how she wanted to harm herself. At first, we were super concerned and tried hanging out and talking to her. But after a while, it became apparent that she was definitely suffering from bipolar disorder. She would go through months of highs and months of extreme lows. On one of her lows, she would take her anger out on us by screaming at us, and that we caused her to run in the poles that surround the parking spots because my husband's truck is too big. But we tried to push it down and still be nice to her because of her mental struggles. Well, my husband works nights, and one night she posted about how she was going to kill herself on Facebook. And anyone affiliated with the military knows how seriously they take that. So my husband wasted no time and called the MPs and his supervisor, as you should. Well, the MPs showed up. Also important to mention that this was not the first time that someone had alerted the MPs that she was about to attempt suicide. She found out that it was us and flipped out. Completely cussed us out, saying that we didn't ask her, that we didn't try comforting her, that we just called the cops on her. Like, what were we supposed to do? Yeah, like a wellness check. I feel like you guys did the right thing. That's what everyone is trained to do, because we don't know if you're actually going to do it or not, so we have to get the authorities involved. Fast forward a little bit, and she blocks us on Facebook. A few weeks later, she's outside in front of our house, and she's being so loud. I had a newborn at the time, and I was trying to get him to nap. So I texted her and said, hey, can you please keep it down? My son is trying to sleep, and he's having a hard time with all the commotion. I made it a point to not be rude or anything because I didn't want to send the wrong signals. She decides to send me a long message cussing me out and telling me how rude I was by not walking outside and saying something to her face. At this point, I was pissed. So I laid my baby down in his crib and I went outside to end this. I was like, why are you being so rude? I didn't attack you or anything. I'm inside with my son trying to get him to sleep. So I can't exactly just walk away. She flipped out, stood up, clapping her hands and getting in my face and trying to swing at me. Oh, it would be over at that point. Her husband had to run outside and hold her back. Meanwhile, I'm standing there shaking like, dude, what was she about to do? Beat me up for asking her to be quiet? She could have said no if it was such a huge issue. So I called the cops again and made a report about how aggressive she was and how okay she was with trying to beat me up with my newborn son inside. I was only about a month postpartum. I'm sure you could imagine how pissed that made her. So she took to our neighborhood page and totally slandered us on the internet, saying we call the cops on her for her every move and that we are a bunch of Karens. So we filed a legal report against her and applied for a restraining order against her. It takes forever for legal to process things. And after this, she calmed down for a while. She was only on one of her highs. So we let it go for a while and just tried to live our lives. A few minor things happened in between all of this. Her freaking out on us for no reason. Fast forward to recently, maybe a couple of weeks ago. It's 11 p.m. and our son's bedroom shares a wall with their house. We hear her screaming at the top of her lungs, "Get off of me." A bunch of hard bangs on the wall. So we got really freaked out. We knocked on the door and tried talking to the husband to see if they could at least keep him down through whatever they were working through in their house. He explained to us that she was running around the house with a knife and he was trying to grab it from her. Oh my God. Until it got worse around midnight. I feel like I'm in a horror movie. So my husband texts both of them saying it's been a while and if things don't calm down that we're going to call the MPs. This did not make her happy. She flipped out on us, as usual, and continued it into the next morning. Until finally my husband put his foot down and told her not to contact us anymore. Through text, call, or outside. And if that happens, we are no longer giving you guys the benefit of the doubt. Because that's what she always asked for. If she was doing some crazy things like threatening her husband with a knife or trying to kill herself. We would just immediately call the MPs. We haven't heard anything from her since. And we are hoping nothing happens until they PCS out of here in February. Bro, that's crazy. I mean, I feel bad because it's obvious that she has like some mental health issues, but you think like her husband would be like forcing her to get some help because he can lose his job with her acting like that. So if you have a crazy military wife story and you want somebody to tell it, I'm your girl. Shoot me a DM on Instagram and I'll tell it the best way I can. I can leave it anonymous or I can tag you, whatever you prefer. Sorry that it's been a while. This last month has been crazy and I'm still trying to catch up. But life's gonna start picking up here again soon and I'll be able to give you guys the content you deserve. I love you guys so much and thank you so much for your support.